Hello, dear beloved projectors. I see you. From a fellow projector to another projector. I get it. I get it. So, for reference, I am a 2-5 splenic projector. And today I'm going to talk to you about what it means to wait for the invitation as a projector. I've been in experiment with this, and actually it's really, really fun. So when I first found out that I'm a projector, and the projector strategy is to wait for the invitation, there was a bit of confusion, a bit of like, well, am I just supposed to be passive through life? Am I not supposed to act? Am I not supposed to initiate, take action? And that's a common confusion I think a lot of projectors experience when they hear that their strategy is to wait for the invitation. But no, the simple answer is no. That is not what it means when it says to wait for the invitation. It doesn't mean that you have to be passive, that you're just literally sitting here twiddling your thumbs and waiting. That's not what that is exactly about. So let me break it down. When it says to wait for the invitation, and I want to get one point across, is you probably understand this as a projector. When you have given advice to somebody without them asking you, it probably hasn't been received. You probably didn't feel seen, heard, recognized, or that what you said was valuable or of value to that person. They might have dismissed you. They might have said, invaded by you. They might have felt kind of like you were too much up in their business. And that is because you did not wait to be invited. The projector aura is penetrating. So it sees deeply into people. We are here to deeply see and understand people. And this is how our aura is operating all the time. So we are naturally going to be people who are going to have eyes on us, and people will be drawn to us, but they may not be necessarily wanting us to kind of come in and mend and play with their energy and touch it. And when another energy type, let's say generator, is in the projector aura, you could feel the penetrating cone of the projector aura. And without the invitation, it can be a violation for a lot of people. And this is why we have to wait to be invited, to give our advice, to give our guidance, to give our insight. Without that invitation, we will not be received and recognized, and we'll be just kind of hitting a head on the wall and a hamster on a wheel. So in the big, big decisions of your life, which are relationships, your career, you're bonding with people. So what that means is your business partnerships, if you're a client coach, anything to do with interacting with people in terms of just coming in and being like, hey, this is what I think you should do. And then the last thing is where you live. Those are the big places where the invitation is really, really important and vital, waiting to be invited for that. And so I'm going to give you a few examples. So looking back at this now, it's funny that this is how it worked out. But when I got into a relationship with my husband way back when, this is exactly what happened. He's a manifesting generator, so he responded. And he responded to an opportunity to connect with me. And what he did was invited me over to come talk to him by literally saying, you come here, can you come here? And so I went over, and I got invited into being in that relationship. He invited me into being his partner, his girlfriend, or whatever. And then the other thing that comes to my mind is when you are, let's say, wanting to do something, you don't have to wait for an invitation to start a business, to record a video, to start a podcast, to ask your friend to go on a lunch date with you. You don't have to have invitations to go do the things that you want to do. Your day-to-day life, you don't need invitations for. It's just the big decisions that involve other people, specifically people that you are going to be giving or exchanging energy with. That's really something important to take into consideration. And with the whole thing of like starting a business or a career, it's really about understanding, like when I started my business, I started this YouTube channel. I didn't receive an invitation that said, go start a YouTube channel or go start a business or now start seeing clients one-on-one. What actually happened was it was an inner invitation I received. So there's a difference between outer invitations that are coming from the external world, and that's the big four that I just mentioned. But there's also inner invitations. So these are invitations you're going to receive from your higher self or guidance or intuition. So I kept getting this strong feeling over a course of a couple months to start a YouTube channel. And no one brought that to me on a plate, on a silver platter, said there's an invitation. That was an inner invitation I received. And I acted on it. And so this is also where your authority comes into play. So your authority really determines how to make your decisions on the invitations that you receive. So I have splenic authority. So for me, it's really about being in the moment, tuning into my body, stillness, grounded into my energy, to be then able to hear the voice of my intuition, the voice of the impulse. I really feel it as an energy that's moving up and out of my system that wants to be moved into physical form or have physicality to it. So there's a difference between inner and outer invitations. And the other thing that came to my mind, and it just slipped, what was it? Oh, yes. A projector has to be recognized first, then they receive the invitation. So if you're receiving an invitation, someone has recognized who you are, the value that you bring, your perspective, your gift, your medicine, and they have seen and recognized you. And therefore they're coming to you and being like, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? Hey, I think you'd be a great business partner. Hey, I think I want to be in a relationship with you. Do you want to go out with me? They have done the recognition. So as projectors, we crave recognition. And when we are recognized for who we are and the value that we bring and the perspective that we offer, then the invitation will come, the invitation follows. So recognition, then invitation. And so this is something I used to get mixed up, because I remember when I got invited to do a panel for mental health professionals, I had an invitation, but I remember showing up to that panel and feeling like an imposter a little bit, and feeling like I shouldn't be here because I don't know what I'm talking about. That's a thing that a lot of people struggle with. And as a projector, I've had a very hard time formulating why I know what I know or what I do. If you're a projector who gets this, tell me in the comments below. And here I was invited to this panel and I was feeling like imposter syndrome, like I don't know why I'm here. They shouldn't have invited me. I don't know what I'm talking about. But what really occurred to me is that because I received that invitation, the only way I could ever have received that invitation is them recognizing me for my value, for my medicine, for my offering. Otherwise, that invitation would have never came my way. And seeing it that way helped me understand that when I get an invitation, it's because someone has recognized what I have to offer, what I can bring to the table. And I don't need to sit here and worry about, can I do this? Imposter syndrome? Do I know enough? All those fear voices in your head. So that's a key thing to also understand. And the other piece about recognition is if you're not recognizing yourself, if you're not validating yourself, if you're not being secure in who you are, you're not going to get recognized from the other people. You're a projector. So what you're naturally doing is projecting an image, a frequency, your energy onto other people who are witnessing, deciphering, and feeling it in their auric bodies and their auric fields without you having to say a word. So if you're struggling with self-esteem and rejection of yourself and low self-worth and not valuing your gifts, then you're not recognizing yourself. And not until do you recognize yourself will then somebody else be able to recognize you. So recognition is really about first self-recognition. And then that's going to translate into other people recognizing you and seeing the value and the offering that you have to offer, your medicine, your frequency. And with the recognition will come the invitations. So in day-to-day life, really live with more of your inner invitations what your guidance is telling you, what your intuition is telling you, how your body's responding to situations and people, environments, and circumstances that are for you and for not you. And then for outer invitations, those big four, really wait for someone to invite you to give your guidance. Don't show up and start just saying, blah, 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 advice to somebody. Don't do that. It's not going to be received. I know every single time that I've done that, I've been shut down and I'm like, what? Like, why did they not understand? It was so confuzzling to me. And so now I only speak and give my guidance when I'm asked. Otherwise, I'll smile, I'll nod, and I'll do my observation thing and reading the people that I'm around and deeply seeing and understanding them. But I will not offer anything until I haven't been invited to do so. And the other reason why you really need an invitation when it comes to interactions with other people, especially in the form of guidance, advice, supporting, helping, business partnerships, client work, when it has to do with your partner, any of those kind of interactions, is because that person is then giving you permission to go play with their energy, to then touch their energy and then tell them what you see, what you understand. Because as a projector, we're so clearly able to see the other person. And that's why we were designed to be a guide. We're here to guide people and guide the energy of people and help them better understand themselves. And the way every projector does this is going to be very different and very authentic and very in alignment with projectors' design, their incarnation cross, and just the energetic makeup of their chart. Okay, so as I was editing this video, I totally skipped something I really wanted to share with you, which is that you do not need invitations to share what you love, to share what you're studying, to share what you're passionate about, what you're interested in. You can show up and just share. And the key thing here is why you can do that is because it's important for projectors to be visible. Because when we're visible, then we're going to be seen, we're going to be recognized, and then the invitations will come. So, for example, I started this YouTube channel because I was really excited about personal development and spirituality in my own individuation process and healing that I was going through. And by sharing all of that, because I was genuinely passionate about it, I created visibility. And I made myself visible to people who wanted to tune into my channel. And they recognized me. When they recognize me, then the invitations come. So you can share what you love on Instagram stories, Instagram, Twitter, through a podcast, YouTube videos, anything. And the more you make yourself visible, the more people will know who you are and what you're about. And they'll recognize you. Oh, wow, she's someone who could really be, helpful in my own healing journey. I really resonate with her. Ooh, maybe it'd be fun to work with her. And then they recognize it, so then the invitations come. So visibility is actually really important for the projector. And that is done through just sharing. Sharing what you love, sharing who you are, sharing what you're learning, what you're integrating, what you're working through, sharing your love for houseplants, or sharing your love for personal development, or sharing your love for, design, whatever it is. But I think it's really, really cool that you can show up and just kind of create a little booth for yourself. I kind of see like social media platforms as like a little booth at the farmer's market, and you're just kind of there with your little services that you offer and your little products, and you're just visible. And people walk by and they can stop and communicate with you, interact with you, or they can continue going by. And that's kind of how I see social media, like Instagram, YouTube, podcasting, Twitter. Like that's how I use those platforms. It's my little booth on the internet where I can just put my little concoctions out there on the table, and anyone walking by can stop by if they want to, and if they don't, you can keep on walking. So that's a good way to start to create visibility and to start receiving recognitions for your gifts, your offerings, your medicine, all that. So that's what it means to wait for an invitation as a projector in a nutshell. If you have anything to add to this, please put your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're a projector who is experimenting with waiting for the invitation and really living from your strategy and your authority, also put in the comments how that's going for you. I'd really love to hear from you. Wherever you are in the world, beloved, sending you all my love. Take care. Stay open.